Latest intel. We need 100% of people indoors to see what the US military is going to broadcast on everyone's TV sets worldwide, apparently. It is going to be very painful, but we can no longer have people divided. Around Sunday morning, Monday, POTUS will tweet, "My fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. We will go to full global martial law. We will most likely be on broad AF1 when he sends out 7 presidential messages to everyone's phones and TV sets worldwide on the emergency broadcast system. From there, all global militaries, not very good rhyme, via the US military, will shut down all media, internet, phones and all TV programming. Emergency services will still have theirs." Strange that, isn't it? So the US military can broadcast 10 days and 3 times 8-hour sessions of video conversations, military tribunals, lots of evidence for the scandals listed in the Storm article. While this is happening, they will be removing governments worldwide and making global arrests, 500,000 indictments. GSR will be activated, which will be a full rewiring of the planet. So I've come across that. Make of it what you will. I guess we'll find out of the next, just after the weekend, so it would seem. So while these 5G masts are being put up right now in Liverpool, untested, while we are all self-isolating in our homes, does nobody think it's even slightly suspicious? If 5G is known to lower immune system, surely it's the worst time to be putting these up all over this city? I mean, think about it, guys. Just for a second. We are all in our homes, terrified of catching coronavirus. Well, some are. But they are erecting new 5G masts that have been untested. We are one of the official test beds for 5G technology. Scientists all over the world have been campaigning against 5G because of the effects it can have on the health and the brain. Please just open your eyes and expand your mind to see that this isn't normal. We are being told to stay inside to stop the spreading of disease and keep our families healthy, but they are putting up masks that are known to lower the immune system. All you need to ask yourself right now is, why now? Pictures were taken on Queen's Drive, L12 and Belvale and in Aigburth next to a children's nursery. Well, to all those that said I was crazy, don't seem so crazy now, do I? No requirement for any medical certification for burials or cremations. It also indemnifies the health service should they fail for whatever reason to provide care. The most frightening part, only one medical officer is required to sign off compulsory treatment order, which means in the real world you can be forced to accept medication or held down and injected with whatever is seen fit. That is the biggest and worst threat to your own freedoms. Schedule 8, Part 1. Local authorities will now be exempted from compliance with their duties under the Care Act 2014, Schedule 11. The BBC won't be telling you that bit. So, if someone dies in police custody or any type of custody, they can simply be dispose of the body without any paperwork, medical exam or certification or inquest. Forget what that box in the corner of your room is programming you with. Get the facts. I'm still wading through the rest. This is terrible day for freedoms. Dr. Darren Schmidt, DC. An email I received from a person I have known for many years and trust. So my son-in-law works for a tracking company. Phone companies are now turning over their tracking records, i.e. phone records, for every person. He believes everyone who is not participating social distancing will be arrested. Can you warn people of this? Tell them to turn off their phones, or better still, don't take them with you in the first place, or put them inside a metal bag or metal covering of some sort. Then they can't be tracked, because even when they're off, they can still be tracked. I don't recognise our world anymore, but I still care deeply for people in it. Dr. Darren Schmidt, DC. NATF Risha Kishon Sylvester. For your information. Information for Vienna's laboratory studying COVID-19 say vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system, so do not take it. Those who recovered did not take ibuprofen, so if you have symptoms, take paracetamol only. Looks like the virus thrives on ibuprofen, so don't do it and tell everyone you can. Please pass this information on to everyone in each family. I don't want to miss anyone, so share as much as you can, or copy and paste. I just spoke with my friend, who is a nurse at VGH, Vancouver, and they just learnt that Advil makes the virus 10 times worse. Tylenol only for the time being. She said Advil kickstarts the virus into pneumonia. She also said they are not releasing the correct number of cases on the news, and they have patients coming in every day. Hello, social distancing helpline. Who would you like to report? And as I seen in the video earlier today, that's exactly what's going on. Serious now. Army walking about Wythenshawe. Stay in. And for those that don't believe these dirty, filthy paedophiles, take a look at this picture. And while we're all locked up, look what's happening. Upgrading to 5G. 12 experts questioning the coronavirus. Below is our list of 12 medical experts whose opinions on the coronavirus outbreak contradict the official narrative of the MSM and the memes so prevalent on social media. Dr. Susharit Bakadi is a specialist in microbiology. He was a professor at the Johann Gutenberg University in Mainz and head the Institute for Medical Microbiology and Hygiene, and one of the most cited research scientists in German history. What he says: we are afraid that 1 million infections with the new virus will lead to 30 deaths per day over the next 100 days. But we do not realise that 20, 30, 40 or 100 patients positive for normal coronavirus are already dying every day. The government's anti-COVID-19 measures are grotesque, absurd and very dangerous. The life expectancy of millions is being shortened. The horrifying impact on the world economy threatens this existence of countless people. Now, if you want to read the rest of that, because they basically go on, well, if you want to read the rest of it, read the rest of it. Israeli doctor in Italy: we no longer help those over 60. Dr. Guy Peleg told Israeli television that in northern Italy the orders are not to allow those to over 60 access to respirator machines. Italy has suffered more coronavirus-related fatalities than China, with 4,825 confirmed deaths and 5,000 confirmed patients in the last 24 hours, Channel 12 reported on Sunday. Take it with a pinch of salt then. Israeli MD Guy Peleg, who is currently working to save lives in Parma, Italy, told Channel 12 that things are only getting worse as the number of patients keeps growing. As this department received coronavirus patients who are terminally ill, the focus is to allow patients to meet loved ones and communicate with them during their last moments despite the quarantine regulations. Other reports claim that as the number of dead increases, some families find themselves unable to secure a proper burial for their loved ones. Peleg said that from what he sees and hears in the hospital, the instructions are not to offer access to artificial respiratory machines to patients over 60, as such machines are limited in numbers. Israel is currently purchasing thousands of respiratory machines and they are supposed to arrive in the country by mid-May. On Saturday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel is using every means it has to secure medical equipment to help patients during this pandemic. He added that all health services in the world face shortages due to the rapid and unexpected nature of COVID-19 outbreak. Bullshit. Banking system not working. Suspect more banks will fail. Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi took aim at willful defaulters in Parliament today has derided the stealing of money from our banks by large numbers of people days after Yes Bank was placed under moratorium, soon to be lifted. The Congress MP says more banks will fail. Rahul Gandhi said today that he suspects more banks will fail during the difficult period for the Indian economy, as he took aim at willful defaulters during a speech in Lok Sabha. Our banking system is practically not working anymore. Banks are failing, and I suspect more banks are going to fail as a result of the current global situation, he said. He said that a central cause was the hollowing out, the stealing of money from our banks by large numbers of people. The Prime Minister says he will catch and bring back those who have stolen from India's banks. So I asked the Prime Minister's government for their names. I asked for 50 names and I didn't get an answer. Rahul Gandhi comments come during a crisis at private lender Yes Bank, on which the Reserve Bank imposed a moratorium on March 5th, capping most withdrawals at Rs 50,000. The moratorium will end at 6 p.m. on Wednesday. Forget fuel tanks and batteries. This new electric jet concept uses air friction to generate power. Instead of fossil fuel or large battery banks, Ether One will be powered by air friction across its wings and airframe. That kind of renewable on-demand energy is a radical proposition. While most of the current trend in business aviation is all about creating a new generation of electric and hybrid powered aircraft, a new kind of space race could emerge if the physics actually support the theory behind Ether One. Designer Michael Bonkiewiczi's concept is probably 4 or 5 generations ahead of the current model of thinking, but Bronowski told Rob Report that he was inspired by the recent Maverick concept by Airbus. That aircraft's unique design helps reduce drag while providing more cabin space. He said, I have been thinking of a lot about this lately and wondered what could happen if a big company would like to create an electric plane. What the Warsaw-based designer came up with is potentially revolutionary. Ether One uses friction between the air and high speeds of the jet as its primary source of renewable on-demand energy. Coronavirus. Prince Charles tests positive but remains in good health. And I've just heard also that Johnson has tested positive. So, that's 2 that we know drink the adrenochrome. The Prince of Wales was tested positive for coronavirus, Clarence House has announced. Prince Charles, 71, is displaying mild symptoms but otherwise remains in good health, a spokesman said, adding that the Duchess of Cornwall, 72, had been tested but does not have the virus. Both Charles and Camilla are now self-isolating at Balmoral. Bullshit. Buckingham Palace said the Queen last saw her son on 12th of March but also remains in good health. The Queen, the Palace added, is following all the appropriate advice with regard to their welfare. Clarence House statement read, in accordance with the government medical advice, the Prince and the Duchess are now self-isolating in a deep underground military base at home in Scotland. The tests were carried out by the NHS in Aberdeenshire, where they met the criteria required for testing. It is not possible to ascertain from whom the Prince caught the virus owing to the high number of engagements he carried out in the public role during recent weeks. Bullshit. Mike Pompeo admits COVID-19 is a live exercise. Trump reports, I wish you would have told us. Can someone please explain exactly what is going on here? United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had a slip on the tongue while addressing the American people from the White House when he stated that COVID-19 is a live military exercise. This is not about retribution, Pompeo explained. This matter is going forward. We are all in a live exercise here to get this right. With a disgusted look on his face, President Trump replied, "You should have let us know." Military exercise, meaning from Wikipedia, a military exercise or war game is the employment of military resources in training for military operations, either exploring the effect of warfare or testing strategies without actual combat. This also serves the purpose of ensuring that combat readiness of garrisoned or deployed forces prior to the development from a home base. What is actually going on here does the White House care to explain? Note to readers, please click the share button above or below, forward this article to your email list, cross-post or on your blog site, internet forums, etc. Well, what do you know? No 5G for Israel. Well, surprise, surprise, despite Israel being intimately involved with the the creation of 5G technologies, see here and here, they are not planning to deploy it in Israel, according to one source. At least some people believe that 5G was developed by Israel, but the Israeli government will not roll it out in Israel. Rather, Israel will develop a fibre optic version. Sir Julian Rose in an interview with Barry Trower. Furthermore, it appears that Israel is lagging behind on internet speeds. The article below suggests 3G frequencies are still in use in Israel, and they are also still running copper wiring into the homes of the Israeli people, providing them with the most protective wiring from non-ionizing radiation frequencies and dirty electricity. Lucky thing for those living in Israel that the Israeli government is not trying to kill them. It's very different case in America, where the government is also controlled by dual American Israeli citizens, and where it is estimated that more than two-thirds of the American population will be extinguished by the year 2025. UK downgrades COVID-19, no longer a high consequence infectious disease, by John Rappaport, March 25th, 2020. Where is the media raw all over the world, blasting out the news that the UK government no longer considers COVID an existential threat to all life on Earth? No giant headlines indicating that the dominoes are now starting to fall in another direction, away from sheer suicidal insanity. Oh, that's right, it's the media. The UK government on its website announced on March 23rd, under status of COVID-19, as of 19th of March 2020, COVID-19 is no longer considered to be a high consequence infectious disease, HCID, in the UK. Bang. The Four Nations Public Health HCID group made an interim recommendation in January 2020 to classify COVID-19 as HCID. This was based on the concentration of UK HCID criteria about the virus, the disease, with information available during the early stages of the outbreak. Now that more is known about COVID-19, the public health bodies in the UK have reviewed the most up-to-date information about COVID-19 against the UK HCID criteria. They have determined that several features have now changed. In particular, more information is available about mortality rates, low overall, and there is now greater clinical awareness of the specific and sensitive laboratory tests, the availability to which continues to increase. The Advisory Committee on Dangerous Pathogens, ACDP, is also of the opinion that COVID-19 should no longer be classified as HCID. The need to have a national coordinated response remains, but this is being met by the government's COVID-19 response. Cases of COVID-19 are no longer managed by HCID treatment centres only. All healthcare workers managing possible and confined cases should follow the updated National Infectious and Prevention (IPC) guidance for COVID-19, which supersedes all previous IPC guidance for COVID-19. The guidance includes instructions about different personal protective equipment (PPE), ensembles that are appropriate, and different clinical scenarios. Of course, we can be the media too. We are our own wire service, getting out news across the world. US charges Venezuela President Nicolás Maduro with drug trafficking. Trump administration charges charged current and former Venezuelan officials with money laundering and other offences. 15 million reward. US authorities charged Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and senior government officials with drug trafficking and conspiring with terrorists and offered multi-million-dollar reward for their arrests, escalating the Trump administration effort to unsettle the leftist regime. The middle class are about to discover the cruelty of Britain's benefit system. A decade of cuts has ripped apart the safety net. People on decent salaries hit by COVID-19 fallout are in for a shock. Millions of people are about to discover something they didn't know about British life. There is no longer a safety net. People who have paid tax and national insurance for years and never been near the social security system will be turning to it in their hour of need, yet far too late. Like trapeze artists falling through the air, they will find that the net beneath them has been lowered dangerously close to the ground and is badly torn. If those people once believed relentlessly misleading tabloid tales of benefit scroungers, they will have a rude awakening. They will find that when Ian Duncan Smith, criminal murderer, turned the screw on Social Security in 2012, he was right to warn claimants this is not an easy life any what more, chum, as if it was ever. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, banker, has done well to honour 80% of wages for those furlonged from shut down business up to $2,500 a month. No one knows how many they covers and at what cost, but it was a macroeconomic necessity. One worry is the incapacity of the HMRC workforce, with 15,600 staff cut and 157 local officers with local knowledge closed. Can they pay the wages subsidy of companies in time to save them? Many firms could still lose, sending millions into unemployment. And that's the plan. Coronavirus. Boris Johnson self-isolates after testing positive for COVID-19, so we know that he likes his adrenochrome. Boris Johnson self-isolating for 7 days after having tested positive for coronavirus. Well, shouldn't it be for 14 days at least? The Prime Minister, 55, tweeted a video message confirming he has COVID-19, writing, "Over the last 24 hours, I've developed mild symptoms and tests for coronavirus. I'm now self-isolating, but I will continue to lead the government response via video conferencing as we fight this virus." Health Secretary Matt Wancock has also caught the virus and is self-isolating at home. Another one on the adrenochrome. Downing Street said Mr Johnson was tested on the advice of his Chief Medical Officer, Professor Chris Whitty, on Thursday afternoon, having been experiencing mild symptoms earlier the same day. Don't believe it for a second. Trump is sending us all to Gitmo for life. Let's plan another mass shooting. We can't. All the schools, restaurants and theatres are closed. We are in a planetary shift. We are undergoing an evolution, a new way of being, a new way of living, letting go of the old, stepping into the new, the unknown. We are the creators of that new world. We all take our paintbrushes and paint the world with new colours. Let's add lots of light, lots of magic. Breaking news. People are effing stupid. A new study reveals that most people are dumb as shit. And we all know some of them, don't we? You see them walking around with face masks on. Guess who owns the lab in China where the CV-19 came from? George Soros. Is it starting to make sense yet? Remember when spraying children with DDT was all the rage? When pregnant women took thalidomide to prevent nausea? When smoking was good for your throat? When Bayer Monsanto insisted that glyphosate did not cause cancer? When no one imagined cell phones might cause brain tumours? 5G, because people never learn until they burn. Belief in authority. Imagine being forced into a religion you can't opt out of. It's called government. Authority is an illusion of diseased psyche, based entirely in violence and built upon the erroneous and dogmatic axiomatic belief that some people are masters who have the moral right to rule others, while others are slaves who have a moral obligation to obey the masters. The world's most dangerous religion. Mirror. National salutes virus heroes. Your country loves you. Millions clap for our careers in moving tribute to amazing NHS staff. Daily fail. Glorious night. We all said thanks to our NHS heroes. Over 100 UK virus deaths in a day. Vast bailout for self-employed, and no minister tells us don't move home. Right. This bullshit has got to stop. They aren't going to be paying anyone. This mortgage break is fake. It's not a mortgage break. What they're doing is they're just not collecting for the next 3 months, and they're adding it to the remaining mortgage. So it's not a mortgage break. You're still going to pay it, while at the same time they're trying to kill us all. The Times. Virus prompts number 10 to suspend housing market. Concern over police use of drone to spy on walkers. Come back to that. Don't move now, warns ministers. 115 victims dying a day. Self-employed to get 9 billion bailout. Don't believe it. It's all lies and propaganda. Whenever you see anything in the papers, it's propaganda. And what makes me laugh the most, this is the thing that does it the most for me. We've all heard that saying. How do you know when a politician's lying? His lips are moving. And yet now, everyone seems to think, oh, the government said we've got to do this, so we've got to do it, because they'd never lie to us, would they? Apart from every time they open their mouth. Metro. Clap for our carers. Checkpoint Britain. Here it comes. Police stop non-essential trips by public. Huge fines if the rules are flouted. Comes as the self-employed given bailout. Death toll here is up 115 in 24 hours. Don't believe the bullshit. They died of natural causes. We have people dying every day of natural causes, but now they're claiming it's the COVID-19. And now they haven't got to do checks, so they can say it's COVID-19. Wake the fuck up! Express. As Britain shows its love for NHS, let's give our heroes biggest thank you ever. Police will arrest anyone flouting lockdown as UK death toll hits 578. A pittance, not even a lot, not even into double figures of the percentage that die from the flu each year. Wake up! Police will arrest any flouting lockdown as death is right. Checkpoint Britain. When I came out a few weeks ago and said we're heading for, well, I've been saying it for months and actually a couple of years now, we're heading for martial law. What does this look like to you? It's martial fucking law. Wake the fuck up. Utter waste of paper. Checkpoint Charlies. Cops get tough on the morons who still go out and value their freedom and want to be free. Builders 3-month wait. Big hands for NHS heroes. Sniffer dogs tackle viruses. Yes, as you can tell, I'm getting pissed off because I've been warning and warning, and everyone's acting like this wasn't... I've not warned about this coming. The Guardian. Nurses sent to London as capital faces tsunami of virus patients. Bull fucking shit. NHS also to ask doctors working new hospitals to sleep on site for weeks. Hospital trusts are struggling with the explosive of demand. Bullshit. Remember, it's in the paper, it's lies and propaganda. A record 3.3 million seek jobless aid in the US. West Midlands suffers steep rise in virus death. Bullshit. Self-employed thrown a lifeline arriving in June. So in other words, if you're self-employed, if you can wait till June, that's all of this, what's left of this month and April, and then May, and in June, you might get some money. Of course, you might be dead or starving or been evicted by them, but don't worry about it. You know, just do as the government says, because you can always trust the government, can't you? Oh, wait. History shows you can never trust any government. A lie graph. Jobless to soar as virus bailout is delayed. Chancellor warned self-employed must claim welfare until payment are available in June. They could pay them right now. This is well, Young Royals lead nation applause for NHS. Bullshit. Third of sufferers may not show symptoms. Police powers to take on lockdown cheats. Oh, so you're a cheat if you actually want to be free. Freedom is now against the law. When are you going to wake? Aye. Friday, 10 to... bullshit. Jesse Eisenberg on living in the shadow of Zuckerberg. Lessons his own school. Self-employed given support worth 9 billion. It's a lie because you're going to be gone by the time that gets to there. Chancellor unveils package to help millions of workers losing income because of the coronavirus false flag fake fucking attack crisis and not covered under previous scheme to help employers. Sunak says they would not be left behind, but he faces criticism after payment delay. Government admits that communication breakdown meant UK was left out of the EU scheme, but to buy thousands of life-saving ventilators that could have helped NHS. Police given sweeping new dictatorial powers to remove people from street, shut businesses and issue fines as medical chief warns UK lockdown could last 6 months. G20 leaders pledge 5 trillion in effort to avoid global economic disaster. Believe that and you will believe anything. The joy of birdsong. Now, well, you're not going to have that for long, are you? Because when the 5G goes up, they're all dead. And us shortly behind them. Tom Dilly. Fighting the virus is far bigger than the Olympics. British summer of sport in peril. The scum. Utter scum. Harry and Meg move to LA. They flee Canada to new US home as virus shuts borders. COVID-19 death jump 113 to 578. One Brit dies every 13 minutes. Let's ramp up the fear because, as I've been saying all along, it's very simple to control the population. Keep them in fear, you'll keep them under control. 4,308 best full as cases soar to 11,656. Police set to padlock and impose fines. Nation joins in 8 p.m. applause for NHS heroes. FT. Sunak unveils 3 billion a month rescue deal for self-employed. Package of benefit 3.8 million workers post-crisis NI contributions to rise. Yeah, you get nothing for it. Banks seek to freeze property market as credit and virus fears hinder movers. It's time to wake up. The time is now. This is martial law being rolled out. The totalitarian tiptoe, as I've been saying for long enough now. I know that you that listen know this and you can see it, and your friends think you're crazy. Just like I was always called crazy for telling you saying what was going on. But it's become to pass that I've been absolutely correct all along. And finally, latest police report for last 24 hours. Robberies, 0. Crime, 0. Accidents, 0. Husband-wife fights, 84,635. Villagers in Punjab are still wondering who the hell is social distancing. Government lies about everything, except coronavirus. They're telling the truth about that. I am a Mughal. Even the birds are having to self-distance. Boris Johnson, the man that finally ended the DFS sale. How to stop the coronavirus. Hi Hillary, I hear the coronavirus is going to testify against you. Day 5 of quarantine. Found a dead fly. Work from home, they said. Had no one through the door all night. He's got what? If you're British and abroad, get home now. Not you, love. Wife called her husband to say she might be late because she's at her boss's dinner party. Husband asked for a photo of the food. Looking at the map for some weekend travel ideas. Remember laughing at Michael Jackson for wearing a mask and gloves? Now you're all out here looking like you want to be starting something. Infection control. Wash your hands like you've just fingered Suzanne Boyle.